I fell down the stairs and sprained my right knee. It was definitely nothing major when you think about it, as I have seen a lot worse in the past 22 years. However, I didn't expect that this little injury would reveal a bigger problem. In the past years, the same knee felt weird and sometimes weak, but nothing alarming. I ignore aches and pains. Such behavior comes with being a pro wrestler from my generation. Yes, it makes me sound old. Well, I'm not going to reveal the age, even though she did. But back in my days, when you were injured, you didn't talk about it. Being the only girl around and wrestling the boys, it was even worse. I just couldn't mention anything about being in pain. If I did, you can be sure I would hear things such as, just a girl, she doesn't belong, look at this weak moron, and whatever. So when I hurt my knee back in 2002, she continues, I got it cleaned up and went back in the ring only 2 months after surgery. I had no time to wait a year to reconstruct everything. I couldn't say I was hurt, and I wanted to prove wrong everyone who doubted me and laughed at me for wanting to be an equal to my male colleagues, courageous or stupid. Today I would say the latter. Different times, I guess. Truth is, I've been wrestling with an empty knee since then. She goes on. No ACL, MCL, or meniscus, just bones. So you can only imagine what was going on in there. And I remember from a side quote, when my mother had her hip replacement, that's all she was ever going on. There was no cartilage, there was no nothing. It was bone on bone. So I remember how much pain she was in as a normal person, going through that stuff. So I can't even imagine that with a knee, especially being as active of a pro wrestler as she has been. So you can say, she continues saying, quote, so you can only imagine what was going on there. I have to admit, somewhere deep inside I knew I was on borrowed time. It just lasted a lot longer than anyone could have predicted. When the orthopedist looked at my x-rays this past Monday, there were no breaks, but it really didn't look good. There is so much arthrosis, or another name for osteoarthritis. What it means is that because of the extreme wear and tear, my cartilage is deteriorating. The joint looks like an 80-year-old's knee. Things could get a lot worse if I don't do anything about it. One thing is for sure, though, I will need a full knee replacement before I'm 50. Way sooner if I keep going the way I do. It could also affect my ability to walk and perform regular day-to-day activities. Alas, the life of a pro wrestler. And she continues saying, and it hurts. It's been hurting for a while. A part of me has always hoped that the sweat, blood, scars, and the thousands of tears would pay off, so I was fighting through the pain. You make bad decisions for a dream sometimes. The pursuit of the dream has also messed with my head and my heart. Storylines and promos about me being, quote, bitter, and that I was always complaining, or interview questions on why I didn't make it, started to be way too heavy on me. Even if it was part of the character, mainly my heel persona, I've never been comfortable with the concept. That this hurt me so bad shows you how messed up my mental state. Why? Because it couldn't be more far from the truth. I love wrestling. I love it so much that I fought tooth and nail for respect. I got beat, stretched, called an asshole for a big head because I wanted women to be seen as equals, and no, being a manager or a valet wasn't enough for me. I wanted to be a wrestler. That's all I've ever wanted to be. I'm not bitter. I'm heartbroken. Heartbroken that I didn't prove wrong all of those people who were telling me that I was wasting my time, that I was a loser, that I wouldn't go anywhere. Today, I feel like they've won, which I doubt she's ever listening to this, but you haven't wasted your time. You're obviously leaving a legacy behind, but I'll get to that in a little bit. Today I feel like that they've won. I'm grateful for every single opportunity and for all the promoters who have let me step into their ring. However, I have that emptiness that there is something missing because I didn't reach my goal of joining one of the major promotions. No matter how hard I try, it just won't go away. I am oversensitive and weak. I'm so tired all the time. I feel like I've been buried alive. I'm there, but I'm gasping for air. Therefore, because of my body tells me it can't go on, because my soul is filled with darkness, because my heart is so heavy, that there's no more beauty in anything, I have decided that 2019 would be the last year of Lufisto. I have canceled many bookings already. It goes on to say canceling more. There are a few places I would love to wrestle at least one more time. Opponents who want to share the ring with one more time. Already started to sell the gear. Then goes on to saying I haven't decided when and where it will all end or against whom. That is something I shall work on in the next few weeks. 39 might be old for wrestling, but there can be many years of happiness ahead if I dedicate myself to something else. Find a new passion or rediscover one from the past. I let go so that I, as a simple human being, I can smile once again and accept the things I cannot change and control. I'll leave you with the quote that explains it all for me. Quote, letting go doesn't mean giving up, but accepting that there are things that cannot be. Forever grateful for your love and support. I thank you, Lufisto. So then she goes on to, I guess, make another comment. I'll just skim through this really quick. A few promotions already reached out to me to have at least one more match with them before I leave. So far, here is where I could be in the next few months. British Empire Wrestling in England, Smash Wrestling in Canada, WXW in Germany, AWS in California, Lucha Libre Femenil in Mexico. Shine Wrestling, Combat Zone, Recombination, and beyond have offered to let me step into the ring when I would be ready. So basically saying let's see. So basically, hold on. Once wrestle in places where I have a history. The new people I like to work are therefore not a priority, although there are some I would love to face that I never had a one-on-one with, like Sumi Sakai and Taya Valkyrie. I have found that match I believe needs to be the last one. Once this one is planned, I guess the rest will be somewhat easier. And then she posts a picture of her and AR Fox from a match that they had last year. So, you know, I get where she's coming from, that she feels like she didn't really accomplish anything in a sense because she didn't make it to one of the bigger promotions. And quite frankly, when she had when the Mae Young Classic first came around and when the Mae Young Classic came around the second time, I was really hoping for Lufisto to pop up like Mercedes Martinez had and like others had. Veterans of the ring, especially women like, again, Mercedes, like Mia Yim, who now has an NXT contract, women like Nicole Matthews, those who, maybe not from a general fan's perspective, know, but those who follow wrestling closely know who they are. And Lufisto, again, just always wrestled the guys, and even still, wrestling the boys, if you want to put it that way. And I always enjoyed watching her do her thing. And, it's a shame that because of injury, she has to let it go. So trying to think. Again, because of injury, she can't continue. It's very much like Edge, where his injuries had prevented him from going on anymore and whatnot. So it's sad. It's actually very sad because she can't do what she loves anymore, not because she said it's time, but because because her body won't allow her, and because of how she defines, I guess, how she has defined success, and the weight of, oh, well, why haven't you done this? Why haven't you done that? It's gotten to be too much for her. So a mix between anxiety, between stress, on top of this, with that, on top of the stress and anxiety that's caused from the injury and the obviously the continuous pain that she has gone through. It sucks. It sucks when any pro athlete, and she is she's made money from wrestling. She is a professional athlete. She is a pro wrestler. So, for any professional athlete to have to settle, I guess is the best way to put it, on retiring because they just physically cannot do it anymore has got to be the worst. So, I only speak for myself, but I speak for myself, and I hope I echo the sentiments of many wrestlers, men and women, where now this is her farewell tour. And, as I'm kind of talking this, it reminds me of Nigel McGuinness, because of injuries and because of other aspects of his personal life. He had to stop being an active pro wrestler, and not when he wanted to, but he just figured, screw it, it's time. This is kind of the same thing, and it's really sad. If WWE, and I'm sure they will, if WWE winds up doing another Mae Young Classic, I hope that they do the right thing, and I know it's not likely, but do the right thing and allow Lufisto to compete, even in one match, under a WWE branded event, and give someone who gave so much to fans and the art form and the sport of pro wrestling so much. Just give her that one chance to really shine. Give her that one chance to make it feel like it's worth it. She's one of the best talents out there. And I know talents like Mia Yim and Mercedes would vouch for her to be big. Dude, get this woman on this show. Now. Like, why she why she hasn't been called in for an NXT match, even just a match to put somebody over. I don't get why they don't do it. But that's just me. Or AEW at Double or Nothing, you have the over the budget Battle Royal. I know it may not be much to some, but you're becoming that big, one of the top promotions. Have her go in that Battle Royal. Have her go in it. I don't know how much she would feel about that personally, but for me, I feel like that would be the right thing to do, and just throw her that bone, throw her that option of like, hey, we would like you here.